All right, this is page 18, number 67. We're going to go all the way through this because the first couple of measures and the measures later are all the same. So this should be pretty easy to go over. So let's go all the way through this. You can finger along once, back the video up, and then play along. Here we go. One, ready, now. One. So the Andante tells us that that's a walking speed. That's why that wasn't quite as fast as the others. So keep backing that up and working on it. Make it as smooth and connected as you can. Okay, this is number 68, Ezekiel Saw the Wheel Duet. We're looking at part A. This has an anacrusis, so we pick up on beat 4, and so I'll count 3 out loud. We're going to take the first ending, and we're going to stop at the breath mark. So let's finger and count with Tiffany playing, and then go back the video up and play along. So this is the first 4 measures. 1, 2, 3. Okay, so keep backing that up and going over it. Notice that's a little faster than the previous line because it says allegro, which means quick and lively. Now we're going to go over it. We're going to start with the pickup note at the end of the first ending. Go back, take the repeat, and do the second ending. Here we go. 1, 2, 3. Now the second ending. All right, so notice the pickup note is at the end of the first ending, and we don't play the first note when we repeat back. The repeat sign is after the first note. So let's go all the way through 68A. Here we go. 1, 2, 3. Keep backing that up and going over it until you have that worked out completely. Now let's look at part B. We're going to do this the same way. We're going to take the pickup, we're going to stop at the breath mark in the first ending, then we'll go back and do it the second time. So here's the first 4 measures. 1, 2, 3. Okay, so back that up and go over it until you've got it worked out. Now we're going to do the second time, so we'll do the pickup at the end of the first ending, go back to the repeat, and take the second ending. Here we go. 1, 2, 3. Second ending. All right, so keep backing it up and working through it. Now we're ready to play all of part B. Remember, when you repeat back, we don't play the first note because it's written for you again at the end of the first ending. Here we go. I'll give you 3. Part B. 1, 2, 3. Second ending. So keep backing these recordings up and playing through with them. Play part A with a recording of part B. Also play part B with a recording of part A until you can fit your part in without any problems. Okay, this is line 69, rhythm time. Notice underneath these first note of each measure, we have an accent mark. It's a little sideways triangle. tells us to put a little more emphasis on that note. So it would sound like this. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. With the accented note having a little bit more emphasis. So let's clap and count together number 69. Here we go. 1, ready, begin. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, hold, 2, hold, 3. So keep backing that up and going over it and clapping and counting and putting a little bit more emphasis on the accented notes than the others. All right, this is number 69, rhythm time. We just clapped and counted through this, and now we're going to play it using your note C for every note here. Notice the accent. Like we did when we clapped and counted, we're going to make that accented note a little more emphasized. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Just a little bit louder and a little bit more weight on that note. Here we go. Play along all the way through 69. 1, ready, now. If you notice when we started that note, we played it with just a little more emphasis than we did the other notes. This is number 70, Sight Reading Challenge, Streets of Laredo. This is the same rhythm that we just worked on in number 69 with that accent on the first beat. So we want to put a little bit more weight on that first note. So we're going to go straight through this without stopping. We'll take first and second endings. It's almost the same. So all the way through. Ready? 1, ready, now. Repeat back. Second ending. Okay, so keep backing that up and counting and fingering and playing along with it. When we play it, put a little more emphasis on that accent note than on the other notes in the measure. Okay, this is number 71, Skill Builder, Donkey Riding. The first two measures and the fifth and sixth measures are exactly the same, and the other two measures are pretty close. So we're just going to go straight through this. So play along, also finger and count so that we're getting those eighth notes even, and then we're putting a little emphasis on the accented note. Here we go. 1 and 2 and ready, now. So keep backing that up, going over it, fingering, count with it, and play along with the recording. Okay, this is number 72, Theme from the Nutcracker. This is a test line, so we're going to spend a little more time on this. We're going to go over this in 4 measure sections. The first thing we want to look at is the key signature, which tells us that every B in this whole line is B flat. So let's look at the first 4 measures. The first time while Tiffany plays, finger and count. Then we'll back the video up and play along. Here we go. 1 and 2 and ready, now. So keep going over that until you've got those 4 measures worked out completely. Finger and count them and play along with the recording. Now let's look at the last 4 measures. So remember that little mark that looks like a percent sign is a 1 measure repeat. And that tells us to play what was in the measure before it again in that measure. So you'll play measure 5, and then in measure 6 we'll play the same measure 5 over again. So let's go over the last four measures, finger and count, and play along. Here we go. Ready now. Now, see how we played the same thing in both the fifth and sixth measures. That's what the one measure repeat tells us to do. Now we're ready to play all the way through. Here we go. 1, 2, ready, now. So keep backing that up and going over it until you have that worked out to where you're ready to take a test grade.